We're recording now.
Could you imagine a...
Uh-huh.
I was going to say a penis this size. I feel like every circle-shaped thing I look at, I think it's a penis.
Yeah.
I think it might be gay.
I'm locking my door.
I didn't say I was a raper. A rapist.
A raper is crazy. I never said I was a raper. A rape. Oh, shoot. We're not supposed to say this in the first 10 minutes of the episode. All right, well, this is fine. Hey, yo, welcome back to the show. My bad on the last episodes. I got every single one of your text messages. I know the sound has been bad. I know that we've been going through a lot of trials and tribulations, but Lord knows, hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
The audio has been fixed.
Has it?
Okay, yes. We've spent so much time and effort fixing it, replacing things, making sure that the board is working right. If it's not fixed, I'm gonna be upset.
Cute.
Okay, so, and also thanks to the people who watched some old episodes last week when we were not available to record, but that just means we're back at it again with a brand new episode. Today, my guest is the gay one himself. Okay, Horse Jaw.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah. West Hollywood's very own North Hollywood inhabitant.
I like that.
My man Devion.
Hi.
Not to be confused with the fact that he's not my actual man.
Right.
But like in like a New York term, like it's my man.
Right, because I don't do men.
Well,
I do other people's men. It's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
I'm just
Your reputation precedes you.
Does it?
Everybody knows about you.
What do people be saying? Never mind. What people think about me is none of my business. Let them think what they want. I don't need to confirm or deny anybody. If they want to know something, they can ask me.
Word. I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
So you be stealing men?
I don't steal nobody's. You can't steal people. What is this, slavery? I can't take nobody.
We didn't gotta go to slavery. We could just call it kidnapping.
I mean, we didn't go to slavery. They came to us.
Matter of fact, some of us were just sold.
Right, you know what I mean?
Not me, I'm Haitian.
Went willingly.
No, I'm Haitian, so.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at first, but then y'all conquered.
Yeah,
Y'all got taken, then went to Haiti, right?
I don't really like the. I don't like
and then overthrew the French government or whatever.
No, like what happened was we went on vacation.
Yeah.
To France, and it was like it's litty titty out here.
Was Haiti? Yeah, it was. It was a part of France, I guess, right?
I mean,
wait, but it governs itself now, right? Haiti, the Dominican Republic, are they separate?
governs.
Governs, because I know, like when I was in Curacao, they are Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
I think they still are governed by I don't know, Dutch people. I guess was like New Amsterdam.
They have Dutch currency.
Yeah. No, I think they have their own currency. I think Bonaire has Dutch currency. Because you know those small islands, A, B, C, Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao. That's the ABC islands over there in the Caribbean. And they're all over Dutch. But Curacao, I think, governs itself. Bonaire still is governed by the Dutch. I don't know, something like that. I don't know.
No, I was trying to say the same thing.
Huh?
No, because
That's what you were thinking?
I was just thinking the same, because ABC, then after that is XYZ.
Right, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, XX, XY. XXY, YYX.
Kyle XY. So let's start off with something that you probably don't know much about, but I'm going to start off with it, and let's see where you go.
Okay.
So there's a rapper whose name is Mos Def.
I know Mos Def. He's also a poet.
Yes. And he goes by the name Yasin Bey now.
Who now?
Yasin Bey.
Say what?
Yasin Bey. Don't disrespect
Was
his
that
name.
his government name, or is he now Muslim? And he changed his name?
Don't.
I'm asking.
I don't know.
A serious question.
He ain't here.
Okay, so, but he did a Muhammad Ali?
This is not about his name.
Well, I'm curious about the name.
I don't know.
Because I never knew his real name, but you say he goes by it now.
Yes.
So I was like, is it like a Prince thing where Prince became the artist formerly known as, or did he get into a religion and then, change his name. I don't know.
The
I was
crazy
just
thing is,
curious.
I actually do remember seeing a video about the name change, and I totally don't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they're gonna take my hip hop card away from me.
yeah, I didn't know you had one. Drake doesn't count.
That's what we're here to talk about. So, Mos Def went on a podcast interview, and they asked him, "Is Drake hip hop?" And he said, "No, he's synonymous with pretty much like edgy shopping at Target in Houston."
I think we have so much pushback from things evolving. I think Drake is hip hop. I think hip hop has now become as in every genre. I think people are exploring different sounds, and maybe we should give it a new name. Maybe we should say it's not classic hip hop, but it's modern day hip hop. It's kind of like the new R&B is less of big running and singing and more kind of like that smooth kind of like, you know what I mean? Bryson Tiller and Summer Walker. It's like it's not as much Kiki Wyatt or how it used to be back in the day. But I think we can still call him hip hop because that's the genre in which I think he in. But I don't listen to his music like that. What do you think? Do you think he's hip hop?
I think Drake is hip hop, and he's also. Actually, let me rephrase. I think Drake, as an artist, is hip hop because he embraces hip hop culture.
Right.
Now, a lot of people say he doesn't just rap, but hip hop
Right.
doesn't mean it's just rap. Hip hop is everything about a person. It's about, how you talk and walk, your style.
But is that a difference between, because it's culture and then it's music?
Yeah.
Right? Because we can all be immersed in hip hop culture, but not be a hip hop artist.
Of course, but that's the same thing as saying, like, is Lil Uzi Vert hip hop because he makes music that's very understood.
Who?
You know Lil Uzi Vert.
Don't.
All my friends are dead.
TikTok.
I just want to rock.
Crack Rock?
Lord.
Frank Ocean song. No, I think I know what you're talking about. He's a dude with a star in his head?
Yeah, that.
Or who dated JT from City Girls?
Yes. So it's the same kind of conversation of like, okay, Uzi may rap in a couple songs, but he does a lot of melodic music. So does that mean he's no longer hip hop? No. So does Drake only make hip hop songs? No. He makes a lot of genre bending music that could fall into the pop category, that could fall into multiple categories. But Drake as a hip hop artist, despite the fact that a lot of people say he's a culture vulture,
Because he's from Canada and was on Degrassi.
I think really people say it because he's with his child is more white than black.
So that was Jesus. Because his sperm went inside the woman, and I mean Drake is half black, half white.
And I think a lot of people.
Some people light skinned.
Yeah, they are.
And
But
some people are
I think some people are like, Dr. Umarish, and they don't like the fact that his mom is white and he grew up not like extremely poor and blah blah blah. So they just kind of feel like he's culture vulture-ish and he gets on songs, and I don't know. There's just kind of been this
Does he rap about struggling to come up and for like money and stuff like that?
I mean, he's had those bars before, and it's very obvious that he wasn't like a mega rich person. But everybody has their trials and tribulations, and he's rapped about them before, and he's a very vulnerable artist. But at the end of the day, he's not Gucci Mane, So I think a lot of people have trouble with that, and also he comes off a little zesty, and I think people have problem with that too.
Well, I think lines are crossing now. Like we're getting to a point where you're not limited to just do one thing. So people have the freedom to kind of explore. So it begs the question, if you're rapping, does that automatically say that you're a hip hop artist if your main thing is rapping? So there's like rap that is, let's just say there's rap in another genre. But the music, the production is all like country. But the artist is mainly kind of like rap style. Would that still be considered hip hop? I feel like sometimes we put rapping
it's not
and
hip hop.
together.
It's a rapper. It could be potentially a hip hop rapper rapping on a pop song or on some other song. I mean, Lil Durk has a song with famous racist
Tim McGraw? I'm just playing. Tim McGraw's not racist. I
No.
love him.
Well, we all love Timmy. But what is his name? Morgan Wallen.
So I haven't heard all the stories about him. My friends, my white friends, they love Morgan Wallen. One of my brothers, one of my best friends, love Morgan Wallen. I
heard a song yesterday. It was pretty good.
I haven't really listened, and I like country, but I haven't really like ventured out to listen to his music, really. So why is he racist? Was he the one who made that video about "Try This in My Town"? That's not him, right?
No. He like said the N-word in a video.
Did he use it in a racist way?
I think he said it like, "Yo, that's mine."
So he was being stupid.
Yeah, he was being stupid.
Be careful what we call racist. Sometimes it's just stupid. He was stupid.
But he's 30, so he should kind of know.
He should know better. But, some people feel, think about the world and think about the people running it. There's so many entitled, stupid people that have been taught these crazy things. I just want to make sure that we call racism, and we call stupid.
But is racism
and it can be both, but
I was gonna say racism could pretty much be on a scale because all racism is stupid, but not all stupidity is racism.
Right, that's what I mean.
So either way,
do you think just saying the N-word as a white, I think it shows a level of respect. I think it shows that you don't know a lot of things, or you don't. It shows me who you are when you, as a white person, says something that I wouldn't say shouldn't say, but shouldn't say, and you say it anyway. Because it's a level of disrespect, one. I'm trying to circle back to see if I would call the person racist. Because they say, it's like if a white person say, that's my nigga. Say, you shouldn't say that. I'm not your nigga. That's, you know what I mean? If they're like trying to do this whole like hip hop, like I'm from, the streets, like, nah, my nigga, you ain't my street.
Unless he has a receipt.
Unless you have a receipt. Did you pay for this word?
No.
Did you pay to use it?
Unless he has a receipt for you.
Oh, that's good. Show me your receipt.
Uh-huh.
You owe me now?
I guess you could say it then.
That's stupid. I love it.
Yeah. So either way, this discussion is very interesting because I think hip hop and country are the two lifestyle musics. And
yes.
And
think about it like that.
Yeah, so it's deeper than the music, and it's all, it's all about how a person is as a person, and then it translates into their music because it's quote unquote real. So I don't know. I feel very haterish vibes coming from Yasin. I feel like the way his tone when he was saying it, he was like, it's likable.
Do you think you're biased because you are a big fan?
No. Because here's the thing. When you say things with a tone like that, because you're trying to downplay their success. Now you're like, you could have said it in a different way. Like, I actually feel like his music is so commercial and it's too genre bending for me to consider it truthful hip hop.
That's a good statement.
He could have said it like that, but he said, I can listen to it shopping at Target. It's shopping with an edge. It's like fun.
He was being shady.
Of course, it's shade.
Hella shade.
Yeah, a lot of shade. And it's like, I get it. Like,
I don't. I mean,
I do get it. You know
we
why?
have a hard time growing. He's one of those people that sounds like he can't accept that things are moving and changing. Everything is always changing. It's never going to stay the same. If you want sameness, then go listen to what was released then. Or go listen to some new artists. Everybody wants their artists to not grow and to not expand. But they have that old music that you can go listen to. Like there's a hip hop song, or there's pop songs and R&B songs, country songs that will fit you. Do you think that you cannot? Do you think, like, let's say if I was a rapper and I'm not, and if I decided to release a quote unquote queer hip hop song, you know what I mean? Would I still? Because gayness is not really in hip hop. You know what I mean? Well,
you guys have I Love McConan.
Who? I love Nick Conan. What's that?
Have you ever heard the song, I Got the Club Going
Up on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday.
Is he gay?
Yeah, he's super gay.
I know, no idea who that is. Didn't that song come out in like 2012?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Anything recent? So that's what we got to draw from. Well, I guess we got Lil Nas X. He's a hip hop artist. I don't see anybody questioning
A Christian hip hop artist.
He's not Christian. I think he's trolling again. I think he, and I haven't even listened. I haven't watched this new video yet, which I need to. But Lil Nas X is a troll. Like, I think his music is good, actually. Like, I liked his last album. I like Montero because it is more on the pop side as far as hip hop goes, and that's kind of what I like. But I think he's still just kind of trolling people. He's doing stuff for shock value. Yeah, but I mean, I don't know her like that.
So is Lil Nas X hip hop?
I would say so, but the way you describe it as being a lifestyle genre, I don't think that he's come from a hip. Well, I don't know his background, so I can't say. But I would put him as hip hop pop. I would put him in the same category as like Nicki Minaj. Not as far as talent goes, or not as far
Nicki
as
Minaj is hip hop.
I know that, but as far as like a lot, she has some pop songs. So and pop is not a bad word. Let's get that out of the way. Pop is not a bad word. There's some great pop music.
Yeah.
Pop, it serves
It's not a bad word. It's a terrible word.
It's not. I love pop music. Love it, love it, love it. But no, I would say he's a hip hop artist. Sorry, I circled around that a long time, huh?
I see.
Yeah, that was a
I see.
while.
Well, either way, I will say this. I do know that Drake kind of threw some slight shots at Mos Def one time. He put out a poetry book that I bought and the neighbor stole. But
Drake
whatever.
did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's
Come on,
not,
Tupac.
It's not a real poetry book. It's a one-liner Instagram caption poetry book. So it's not like he's like busting down haikus. But
575. It's a haiku. 575.
that's right.
Syllables.
57.5. So he drops this poetry book, and then I believe a couple models were reading it on Complex, perhaps, and I think somebody commented about like this is not real hip hop or something along the lines of that, and he made a statement that said you know, can you get like the baddest girls on the internet to read this book versus the president of the Mos Def fan club? And you know, I think once you start throwing people's names in there, then like shade comes in, and you know, oh, you said my name, now I'm gonna say your name.
So Drake picked this fight.
I don't know if he necessarily picked Mos Def as a diss. I think he was like, let me just find the most boom bap kind of guy.
That's kind of shady. The Mos Def fan club, the highest girls on the internet, or the Mos Def fan club. That's shade.
Well, you know, he's, you know,
everyone throws shade.
Yeah.
But I'm convinced Drake is a little.
Not a little. Anita Max win.
He for the girls. And the boys.
Yeah.
And the girls. What are you, Ariel?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's for everybody.
Allegedly.
He's Drake.
Yeah.
He has something for the people. And people.
Moving on. All right, so let's talk about something that made everybody have a conversation, especially because you and I started off in Hollywood doing the whole acting thing. So Taraji P. Henson, who's the star of the new Color Purple, the musical movie.
I haven't seen it yet, but you know, I never really like musicals like that.
Well, Taraji P. Henson was asked why does she work so much and potentially would she be retiring, because that's the rumor around town. She responded saying tearfully that she wasn't getting paid enough and that she has to work so much in Hollywood to do a bunch of movies and TV shows just to keep up because every time she does another project and she breaks another barrier, they tell her that she's just essentially not enough, and she always has to start back at the beginning, and she's just not getting paid enough. So that kind of affected, I believe, the rollout for the Color Purple movie.
I think it made people want to go see it, right? Made them want to go support
No,
it.
it bombed.
It did?
Yeah, it bombed. But Just in the box office, it'll make money somewhere else.
Oh yeah,
but
put it on HBO Max.
yeah, something will happen. But ultimately, she said all of that, and it sparked this whole career of black women in Hollywood just not making enough money and people disrespecting them. And I'll give you one example. She said that she was in one of my favorite movies, Benjamin Button.
Yeah, I love that movie. She did so good.
She
was
did
nominated
great.
for an Oscar.
Yes. And she got paid $150,000. It was a negotiated amount because they wanted to pay her $100,000. I think she asked for $200,000, and they landed on $150,000. Meanwhile, Brad Pitt got paid $20 million for his role in Benjamin Button.
That's understandable. I would say instead of comparing it to Brad Pitt, we should look at probably Cate Blanchett, because she played a love interest, which is another supporting character. Brad was the lead, and his face was on the movie. And Taraji, I don't think she had that much behind her when Benjamin Button came out. That was like her first
white movie.
Yeah, and remember Hilary Swank, I think, got paid like $50,000 for when she played. I didn't see the movie, but she played a boys like this, or when her head was shaved, Hilary Swank, or Monsters, Million Dollar Baby. I know she got paid like so. I think there's different things. Our industry works because we're in this industry. I'm in the reality side, so you have to negotiate your contracts, or your people that you have in charge. They have to negotiate what you want. They have to, because there's a lot of because it comes from, like, I understand what she's saying. She wants the accolades, which she has, but she also wants the money to go with it. She wants to be treated like the superstar, like everybody else on her level is, and she should. She definitely should. Black women should. And I saw this thing on Facebook where they're comparing her to Ellen Pompeo, who's been on Grey's Anatomy for 1920 season, which is still not a good comparison. She needs a team. She needs a team that's going to ask her what she wants, but she has to also be ready to not get it. And then go from there. It's sad because there's not so many roles, I think, still, especially prominent roles for black actresses and actors. They usually go to the same people, and she's one up there. So they will probably try to pass it off on somebody else and lowball them. But it's whatever's in your contract. But we all suffer through that. Like I didn't haven't worked. My show ended November, so I have to wait for another show and still put my feelers out there. Like most actors and writers and production people and all of us, we all have to once one show ends, now we have to start to find a new show. We have to get a new job. We have to get a new gig. It's the cycle of our work. She talks about working for long hours, which is the industry, of course, but when she says she didn't have a car service, you have to ask for that. From my side, I'm in production, right? So if there's talent, right, the producer's talent, they will tell us what that person wants, and we, and the line producers, will see if it's in the budget and if we can afford it, and if if we have to have it, then the line producer will move money around so that we can make sure that we make this happen for our star, or for the person that's not even a star, but for the talent, right? But she talks about being there long hours and not having to drive herself. There are also so many people that work behind the scenes. I know the actor is they are the product, but you have the grips, and you have the people who are there that work in 14, 16 hours that don't get overtime as well, that have to be there after you leave and still have to drive themselves home as well. So I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at it because I work on set. So I'm like, when I hear that kind of complaint, and I know that you can ask for it,
But what
and
if they say no?
if they say no, then either you have to see if that job is right for you, if you want to do this type of thing, or you go over here, you go to the next boss. You go to the next boss. If your name carries that weight, then you go to the next boss. That's what you have to do. You have to keep going until you get what you want. But I think a lot of things could have been solved with just asking for it. It sounded like she was like, "Oh, we didn't have this and we didn't have that." Boza, did you ask for that in your contract? Did you ask for you wanted a car service? Because a lot of times they will have PAs. I mean, I work in reality, so it may be different on scripted. PAs, they're ready to drive you back to your hotel. Or some people, I know for our show, they want their own car. They want their own vehicle. They want to drive themselves. So there's some people that want different things. You know what I mean? And on every set you go to, everyone's gonna complain about what. Now they should have got fed. I heard that they didn't get fed. That's stupid. That's dumb. Or that they had to prepare all in the same room. They had to get ready in the same room or something like that, which is probably a space thing. Maybe they rented out a space big enough where they thought, oh, okay, well, we can put this person right here, this person right there, this person right here. Comparison is the thief of all joy. And I think sometimes we get to a point where we're all just kind of comparing, where we miss the blessings that are right in front of our faces. You know what I mean? I think sometimes that kind of happens, but I think she has every right to ask for what she wants. That she has every right. Viola Davis, her, Carrie. We have so many, Angela Bassett. We have so many great Black actresses and actors that get looked over and not making the right amount of money and what they should. And we need to change that. But I don't know. That was my take.
I feel like in the case of Taraji not getting paid enough across the board from Benjamin Button up until Color Purple, there's a case to be made on every side. So if we take Benjamin Button, for example, and we say, well, she only got paid $150,000 versus Brad Pitt's $20 million. Now, how about I start from the case of Taraji? If I was her, I think she has a legitimate case, but two things I think are glaring, and a lot of people make this mistake when they talk about business, finances, and personal desire. So first, I don't think that the complaint without the solution is the best way to move forward.
Yep.
If you don't feel like 150,000 was not the correct amount, I think that we have to have a conversation with actual figures and numbers to dictate how much is the right amount. Now, granted, she did negotiate for 200,000. Is that what you wanted, or is that what you were pushing for? If you got 200,000, would you have complained about it? Would you have felt like it wasn't enough? And it sounds like it because you're comparing your $150,000 to Brad Pitt's $20 million.
Which I don't think is a fair comparison.
And it's not a fair comparison. The second thing is, in these conversations, no one ever talks about residuals, ever. And in big movies like Benjamin Button, she's going to be eating off of that movie for a very, very long time. It's not something that just because she got paid that $150,000, she'll never get residuals again. Sorry, but that's just a part of the union, you know, and they're not going to buy her out. It's not a commercial.
Yeah, it's not a buyout.
Yeah, she's going to get paid residuals, and it just is what it is.
It was a studio film, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it definitely wasn't some indie movie. I mean, it made a lot of money, and it made money over the years. So for sure,
and
I don't know.
Did she negotiate box office, like getting stuff from the box office? Because some people can do that.
I'm not gonna go down the negotiation path because I feel like in many cases, you can negotiate your way out of a job, and then ultimately, there's so many actresses in LA. Somebody will take whatever you didn't want to take, and then when it works for them, now it's gonna piss you off even more. So I don't think it's right for me to go down the negotiation path. However, there's one thing that she said that I feel really hurt her case. So she mentioned that after tax, after she paid her team, she was left with not that much money. And she ended up having to pay $30,000 for her son's private school.
Oh! It has to be in LA too, because I worked in school. They are expensive. And that's a semester probably, or a year.
To be honest, when you're making a public claim about how you're underpaid, talking about certain privileges, I think weakens your argument.
Yep.
Because
sounds like you're living above your means.
Exactly. Like, ultimately, the average person is probably not paying $30,000 a year, $2,500 a month to send their child to private school. They're just sending them to public school for free, and they're probably still struggling with that. So the moment you mention your personal decisions along with why you deserve more, kind of weakens your argument. Not to say that the argument is weak, but I just don't think she should have mentioned that, because now people are like, they're gonna focus on, well, why don't you just send your kid to public school? And then the argument goes down that path.
What charter school?
Charter school, whatever it is, but it's not about the school. So on the studio side, the studio spends maybe $250 million on a movie like this.
And they want to get that money back.
And they want to get that money back, and chances are it may not break even or make the money in box office. Again, Hollywood accounting is funky. They'll make money eventually, but for the most part, the biggest draw is that box office income. So yeah, sometimes it takes 5 or 6, maybe 10 movies to pay off 9 failures. But the studio is strategically aligning their finances to pay whoever it is to make them the largest return. So when you are financing a film and you put Brad Pitt in it and you put his face on the poster and you say this is a Brad Pitt and Kate Blanchett movie, they're not doing that because they just respect Brad Pitt. They just look at him as a piece of meat, a product, and somebody who can sell their product,
His name carries a lot of weight, especially then.
Exactly. And probably still now, I think.
Oh yeah, he's one of the last
goated,
celebrities.
Yeah.
That group, they're the last real
megastars.
Yeah, that we're ever gonna have.
So I don't think it's fair for her to say Brad Pitt got $20 million when ultimately, if the movie didn't make any money back, they're not gonna say it's because Taraji played his mom. They're gonna say it's because Brad Pitt must not be a star anymore and he's cut off. So when you compare yourself, I feel like you kind of have to do it apples for apples, and not, apples to oranges.
Because I feel like what she was getting at that was that's the white man, which they do kind of make more money than everybody else sometimes. But when it comes to films, you have to look at the what's the IMDb, the
star meter.
Call sheet. No, the who's number one on call sheet. Who's the star? You have who's
the above the line people.
Yeah. So whoever's leading the movie. So for that movie, that's why I don't like that she compared it, because it was him leading that movie.
Right.
She was supporting. Right. So that comparison already is kind of like, well, why are you doing that? I believe that, and I know that box office, and for a long time they were like, black people don't bring people to the movies, even though black folks go to the movies.
I think what they say now is that black people don't draw international audiences, which could potentially be true because Tyler Perry doesn't distribute outside of America.
He's doing well for himself though inside America.
Exactly.
But I would say if it's a co-lead movie, right? I think Jessica Chastain did this when her and Octavia Spencer was in a film.
Yeah.
And Jessica Chastain was getting paid, I guess, a whole lot more than Octavia Spencer. But they were co-leading this movie.
Right.
It was both of them doing the press, both of them on the movie. With things like that, I think it's fair to be paid similar or almost the same.
Right.
I think that's just right. Especially when you're doing the same amount of work.
And Jessica, well, the amount
in a sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're doing when I say same amount of work, if the movie is on my back and your back, you know what I'm saying? If it's my movie and that Octavia Spencer movie, you know what I mean? Benjamin Button was that Brad Pitt movie. You know
right.
That's what I mean. Then that's fair.
Yeah.
But when you have a clear star of the movie, this is this person's movie, then though you can't.
Jessica Chastain also gave up part of her salary so that her and Octavia Spencer could have the same amount of money. So I don't necessarily believe that Taraji P. Henson is incorrect in what she's saying. I just think that when she presents information, it needs to be something that people can understand, because most people who she's complaining to are going to watch this on social media and they're just going to be like, you work in TV, you work in movies, you're sending your kid to $30,000 schools. I'm poor. I don't have that option. And they're just going to throw it away. And then you have outcomes like Color Purple, where not too many people are going to go watch it. Book of Clarence. You got like $2 or $3 million on a $40 million budget in this first weekend. I think celebrities have to kind of think about, and I get that she was very emotional in the moment.
Yeah, that was the thing.
She was crying and things like that. But, Hollywood is a funky place to try and make people feel for you, especially when you're doing a dream job that everybody wishes they could be. How many people wish that they could, I don't know, go do Empire and get $25,000 per episode or
And she
50,000.
talked about that too. She said she had nothing lined up for it, which to me it just sounds like it was not just poor management, but poor leadership of your management. You have to be vocal with what you want. She's like, at the Empire, there was nothing. There was nothing that I was like, well, what? And she said, I had to fire my whole team. But even with that team, maybe they were a bad team, but also you have to go in and like still advocate for yourself and say, hey, you know what? I need this set up. I want this set up. Can we get this meeting? I know we're on this Empire. Like you still have to do some type of, putting yourself out there, I think.
That sounds like victim blaming.
Okay, sometimes victims can be blamed. Sometimes we make ourselves a victim. We do it to ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not necessarily blaming her. Well, no, I am. I think we all have some blame in our own successes and our misfortunes. I said some, and not every situation, but in some situations, we can be more proactive and get shit done. But I'm not in her life. I don't know. I was not on her team. But if you need somebody, hire me.
The genius speaks.
Girl. Whew. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't see Color Purple though because, and I love Fantasia. I'm just waiting for it to come on HBO Max. But I don't really like musicals.
Can you do me a favor real quick and slide your chair this way just a little tiny bit? Yeah. We're a little bit more. Yeah, cool. And then forward.
Take it back now,
Yeah,
yo.
perfect. All right, so why didn't you watch Color Purple?
Oh, I wasn't going to movies to see it. No way. I might see Origin. I don't like musicals. I mean, I like musicals. Do I like musicals? I would go see a live musical, but not every day. You ain't gonna see me just turn on a musical to watch because I just don't. But I love Fantasia. Like I love Fantasia's voice so much, and I might see it. I'm sure I see it eventually, but it's not something that I was like, I gotta go see.
I'm gonna have you readjust one more time. Turn your chair slightly this way. Yeah, perfect.
Hear you hear me now,
Yes.
Father. That's from Tyler Perry. I know the preacher in that, Terrell.
Oh my gosh, why do you keep falling out of frame?
Oh, maybe because I keep leaning.
Right there. Good. Would you like a podcast? But I feel for Taraji. I feel for all the ladies. I found it very funny. I think Vivica A. Fox was like, "I'm good." Like I didn't experience that when TMZ asked her. Is she?
Yeah,
Okay.
like a mystery show, something like that.
So I do feel for her, and I would love. I wish I could have the conversation to say what do you think is appropriate, because we often talk about things in such vague ways. Like I didn't get enough. He got 20 million. I got 150,000. Well, what do we think is the right amount? And
only she can tell us that.
And yes. And another thing that I feel when you're coming from the opposite side, if anybody here has ever owned a business, you know how.
Anybody here?
Listen. Any of the listeners. If you've ever owned a company, you know that people have like high demands. They want to get paid really well, and you know how difficult it is to get that money. And oftentimes you have multiple different types of calculations. Sometimes we call it market rate. How much you're going to pay a person and how much they deserve to get paid. And I would love to know if that's something that we need to think about. But lastly, I do think that as Black people who have come into some wealth, it's probably our duty the moment we step into some kind of wealth to invest it, so that way eventually we can own whatever it is that we're trying to do, and you can pay yourself what you think you deserve. Unfortunately, we don't have the ability to be the same workers as Brad Pitt or as Leonardo DiCaprio, who can, do these big movies, get paid the multi-millions. Denzel, but Denzel doesn't get paid the same way that Leonardo gets paid.
Oh yeah, no.
Right? So
I don't know actually.
We don't have the ability to get those paychecks, which means that we do have to own more of the market space. We have to create more, and find ways for us to be entrepreneurial leaders. Unfortunately, that's the cards that we're dealt with. So it's not only about supporting each other, but it really is about developing yourself into becoming something you may not want to be, but you have to surround yourself with people who can help you do that. Much like Kevin Hart, he owns his production company, Tyler Perry. I know everyone doesn't have that bone in them, but just think about it.
Viola Davis, she has
Viola Davis.
People get their own production company.
Yeah.
Or you become an executive producer on the show, which is another title that you can have.
But that's the same thing as like begging, right? Like,
no, not really.
No. I'm saying like
but
sometimes you can get those roles, but then you don't get them sometimes, or maybe some people don't want to, facilitate those roles or whatever. But I'm just saying when we own it and we're not asking for it, we get it on our own. It develops a different ability for us to succeed. I think Kevin Hart is the best example of that because, yes, he's going to act in his own movies.
As he should.
And he's going to get the executive role. He's going to make the decisions. But he may not have the same arguments. And again, Kevin Hart is a man. I know that we're talking about women.
Yeah, short man.
But, I think, unfortunately, we're just dealt with the cards that say that we have to own versus just keep asking because obviously
we have to make it happen.
Look at Color Purple, executive produced by Oprah, and it seems like Taraji still has some kind of tension.
I don't think it's that they've kind of cleared that up, but also Oprah is just putting her money behind the project.
We don't know
when you
that.
see executive producer, usually that's, especially if it's a celebrity name, it's the money. Like Harvey Weinstein was executive producer for a lot of them. So it was the money.
Yeah, but Harvey Weinstein owned the production company.
And Oprah she's from my understanding, she's putting her money behind it. Warner Brothers. That's what I'm saying. Well, that's what she and Taraji and all them were saying on. I was saying it on TikTok. Or
from my understanding, it doesn't seem like Oprah put her money in. It seemed like they were using her name to market the film.
I think she put her money behind it.
No, because
I can't say what I heard that on, but I did hear that Oprah, that people went to blaming Oprah when she was just executive producer, putting her money on it when they should have went to Warner Bros. And Taraji said that whenever they had a problem or issue, they would call Oprah. And somebody was like, well, they shouldn't have to call Oprah because she wasn't like working on the film. Her name was on because she was in the film, and she was an executive producer for the original Color Purple for Broadway. So she's been involved in Color Purple for a very long time. So I think she was, it's the wrong word I'm gonna use, overseeing it. I was gonna say she was the overseer. She was kind of in more cases overseeing the project when come in and out, being those. Everybody want to get that job. They're a yes person. Like, oh, yeah, I like that. You know what I mean? I think it was kind of one of those, like...
Yeah. I mean, I do remember Oprah saying something along the lines of, this is what the studio gave us and blah, blah, blah. So she could have just been deflecting. I don't always think that the executive producer is putting their money behind it. They could also just be somebody who goes down the financial route of obtaining finances for the film, and they're not coming out of pocket. They're like, oh, I have this connection in China. They can get us $5 million, and then they pump that into the movie and whatever. But yeah, I mean, either way, it's a messed up situation, and I hope we don't sound like we're like victim blaming. But I do think that that down the line we could see more success coming from Taraji.
Yeah, and I think Taraji is Taraji P. Henson. She's a household name. I mean, the whole industry is becoming something different now, but, she's Taraji.
All right. Let's go down the old Biden path.
Oh, God.
So Joe Biden has officially forgiven over $136 billion in student loans.
Well, how did I missed the deadline, didn't I?
I don't think so, because the other day he forgave $5 billion in student loans. Let me give you the details. So if you owe under $12,000 and you're a public servant, nurse, firefighter, teacher,
prostitute,
they do serve the public. Yeah, I don't think they are part of that. Fuck. And there's a chance they may not have student loans.
Well, I do.
Freak.
Let's just start selling it for free.
Okay. I think that's kind of the opposite because you owe money, so you should probably
I do.
double
I pay
your
them.
fee. But so Joe Biden canceled these student loans, and I do believe that it was a student loan forgiveness program that existed before, but they're kind of packaging it as like,
New?
Yeah, as a new situation. So with all of these student loan cancellations, do you think that Joe Biden is really making headway into the minds of the people and the hearts of the people? Because
No, nobody know about that. Why you know about it? Did they announce it somewhere?
They did.
Where?
Everywhere. I saw it in a bunch of headlines.
Didn't see it. I mean, I don't even think it's Joe Biden doing it. It's somebody else.
Yeah.
He don't know what's happening. Joe, we gonna put your name on this. Joe, just hold the pen for. Let's go ahead, put that signature. Yeah, we gonna pass it now, Joe. Yeah, okay now. All right, it's one of them.
That's how it went down?
That's how it went down.
Okay, then.
Somebody tell Joe to put his socks on. He can't be walking around that White House with no socks on his feet. He's 99 years old.
Holy. He's only 81.
Oh. He's so old. And I don't mean that in like a mean way, but it's like when someone just like, even if you're young, you act old. Like you're just like, you know. And my great grandma's 103, and she moves around. She ain't old. She moves around way better than Joe Biden. Oh, he ain't a grandpa. He a great grandpa. Sit down. Oh man, but that's our president. That's our president. We love him. That's our president.
Second round?
That's all we got. Hey, we'll see in November, I guess.
It'll come fast, unlike your normal situations.
Yeah, I'd never come. Still waiting. I know a lot of boys are still there waiting.
Yeah.
Told them I'd be back 3 years ago. Ain't came back yet. I mean, if I look within my heart, because I'm trying to stay a little away from politics, because everybody gets so like weird. It's so like
it sucks. I have another political question for you.
That's fine. I don't get like you know me. I don't get super like crazy passionate about it anymore because you know. But no, I hope. I wish there was another candidate for the Democratic Party. I feel like him running is kind of selfish. He acts like he's the only one that can beat Trump, which I honestly don't think that's the case. I think people want something new, something vibrant. I think we are thankful for his service, for what he has done. But I think now, and we have to look at the times we're in. So people usually vote as the times we're in. So what's going on currently in the world kind of plays a part when you go into the voting booth, even if it's not the current president's fault. If, you know, gas is up or this is it, and you know what I mean? That's just kind of what you're going to go in and you're like, I can't do this again. We got to have a change. So people will vote for a change usually, especially if they're not like a minority that really have to vote for interests, like, you know, me being gay and taking away my rights. Me being...
You're freaking gay?
Sometimes. It depends on how many dicks I have in my mouth at a certain time. It's a math. Yeah, it's an equation.
Right.
2 dicks, no.
Bye.
4 dicks, still no. Just a little bit.
Freak.
7 dicks. Well, you know, in the Bible, 7 is never completion. So
don't do that.
Not on this podcast.
Not on this podcast. This isn't the book of Devion. This isn't the book of Devion.
It'll be more of a pamphlet.
Not on this podcast.
A leaflet.
We love Jesus.
Hallelujah.
Don't do that.
Too. I didn't say anything blasphemous. 7 is a number of completion. 7 dicks means you complete it. I just use a biblical reference to frame homosexuality.
This guy's a freak.
I'm not. But anyway, yeah, I mean, hopefully. What's your next political question on this?
All right, so Nikki Haley was asked.
I didn't know she was brown. This whole time, I had no idea she was Indian American. Is she Indian American?
She is. Her name is Nimrata.
I didn't know that. I thought it was Nicki. Like Nicki Minaj.
She whitened up her name so that she can get good credit.
I understand that. I get that.
I don't know.
Makes sense
I
to
made
me.
that up. But so
Lies. Liza Minnelli.
Nikki Haley was asked if America is a racist country, and she said no. Come on, hold on.
That's not what she was asked.
Hold on. You gotta let me finish it for the clip. When I cut the clip, it gotta be clear. You see what I'm saying?
Cute. Go ahead.
Okay. So,
Nikki Haley asked if...
Okay, she was asked. Nikki Haley was asked if America was ever a racist country. And her answer was no. But then she claimed that she has experienced racism. What do you think about that?
Well, I saw that she was asked, was her party a racist party? And she said, no, America's not racist. We've never been a racist country, which I think she kind of got tripped over her words. The hard part is she just doubled down. Everyone knows, white, black, Asian, Mexican, everyone knows America has racism and was a racist country. I mean, everywhere was racist in a sense. So it's kind of like, yeah, we're racist, but I don't think she should have doubled down on what she said. I think she should have corrected what she said.
And said what instead?
I said, yeah, we were a racist country. People deal with racism. People deal with racism. Were we ever a racist country? Yes. Yeah. Were we ever a racist country? Yeah. Yeah, we were. Now, they didn't ask, are we still a racist country? They didn't ask that question. They asked, was America ever a racist country? They didn't even ask that. She said, America's never been a racist country. That's a statement she made. Not a question not an answer to a question. She just made that statement. America was never a racist country. And that's just a lie. That's just a lie.
Is America racist today?
I think there's pockets of racism. I don't think there are the same protections for a lot of different groups. And racism is not just with black folks, right? You get black, Asian American, you got indigenous people. So that question, I think, as a whole, I don't think we're trying to be as a country, or the country is trying to be, if you say as a whole. But I do think, yeah, there are definitely pockets of racism in a lot of different areas all over the country. And it looks different per person. You know what I mean? We're both, because being a person of color is not a monolith. Like, we don't have the same experiences. We don't like all the same things and all that, and we will have different experiences. There are some people that claim to never experience racism, and they're my age. Me, I have experienced it. So in my worldview, yeah, I've experienced racism in America. So much so when I went to London, and I always say this, and this is why I loved being in London, because I felt like an American and not just like a black person. And here, because I feel like I feel less of an American in America than I do overseas. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that answered the question or not.
We're gonna get back to the London point, but I think after Nikki Haley says something like America has never been a racist country, or the Republican Party is not a racist party, and then people freak out because they want her to say, yes, it's a racist country. Hold on one second.
No.
It's a racist. And it's like, well, she's a politician, number one. Okay, if you just immediately say it's a racist country or a sexist country or this or that, it's like saying you have 10 members of your family and 3 of them are drunks. It's a drunken family.
Yeah.
It's kind of a difficult thing to say because, you have to kind of understand that within an environment and within a nation, there are acts of racism, and it's not hard to understand. But does that mean that the entire country is racist? I can understand when somebody says, no, I don't think so. Kamala Harris said that it's not a racist country. Plenty of people have said it's not.
Yeah.
But when we freak out, and we do this every 4 years,
Now
we freak out every 4 years. They get donkey of the day. And what do you want them to say? You know, if she's a woman who's running for president, Nikki Haley, she's running for president, do you think she wants to go down the path of campaigning on her being a woman or a victim? No, she wants to be as strong or as confident or as charming or as charismatic as the men are. In fact, if it's possible, she would appeal to the women, but kind of strip away the fact that she is a woman so that she can appeal to the masses. That's what the president is here for. Famously, Obama once said he's not the president of black people, he's not the president of white people, he's the president of the whole damn country. So what do you expect them to say? There is no politician on earth who's gonna win and also claim that this is an evil, terrible country. What they might say is there are acts of evil that happen in the country. What they might say is we're going down the wrong path. But they're not going to say, for the sake of their own belief in the country, this whole thing is terrible. If it's terrible, stay away.
I think there are, and racism is not always intentional. It's not something that people always intend to do. Sometimes it is. Carmichael show, they made a joke about, I wish private racism or like microaggressions can be worse than racism, than like in your face. And then he was like, nah, I've been through in your face racism. It's pretty bad. You know what I mean? I didn't land that joke, but whatever. But it's kind of like there are in places of leadership, there are people that I think are racist. I think there are people that are homophobic. There are people that are sexist. And I think that's going to be people. Sometimes when it's in a place of power, it feels like it weighs a little bit more. But I totally agree with what you're saying. I mean, most of this country, I think, is white?
75.5%.
Right. You have to appeal to that base because that's the majority when it comes to, the questions, the answers that you have to a lot of these questions. And to be frank, racism makes white people uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And no one wants someone to lead our country, in a sense, talking shit about it.
This is true.
So I agree with what you said. I think, they still do Dunk of the Day. They made her Dunk of the Day. Yeah. And I don't like the overreaction to everything. Like it's just everything gets blown up. It's so dramatic. Everything gets so dramatic. It's like
if Trump wins again, it's gonna be over dramatic central. Because just think about it.
Since Trump won.
Sure.
But they talk about him every day.
Think about it. When Trump just said, "I'm gonna be a dictator for a day so that I can drill, baby drill, and I can close the border." People just heard, "I'm gonna be a dictator for a day," and it's like, oh boy.
There's checks and balances. Like
it's kind of rough to listen to because you can tell people are just like looking to be upset. They're looking to be angry. And look, man, if you don't like the guy, great, but just kind of tailor what you outpour, for your own health, man. Anyways, moving on. So 2,000 migrants were placed into a New York City school to shelter them.
Oh, I think I heard this.
And then the students had to go back and do remote learning again. That's how bad the migrant situation in New York City is. So New York was famously touting that, they're a sanctuary city and, Texas should take care of the migrants, and they just thought it was ridiculous that Texas didn't have the infrastructure or the finances to take care of the migrants. So Texas leaders started busing them to New York, and now New Yorkers, including Eric Adams, are finding it very difficult to handle all of the increased population that is coming in through the busing of the migrants. What do you think about this situation where, you know, what you were speaking about and how you thought you were going to handle it kind of blows up in your face a little bit?
I feel like we move. One, these are people. First and foremost. I don't know why I'm laughing, but even that, busing these people to New York to prove a point is just so childish. It's so petty.
I don't think it is.
I think so. I think no, because I think you work out of. I think sometimes we're so divided, but I think if you want what's best, you work out a plan. Then like you go to the governor and y'all meet, and if you need help, ask for it. You don't just
They did.
You don't just send them there and be like, hey, you know, now's your problem. So you say we have a problem with it. That's not how you do things.
I think you're oversimplifying the situation.
What do you mean?
Because
so help me understand what I'm missing.
Because oftentimes it's kind of like going back to the negotiation thing. Like it's so simple to just say, hey, go to the president and ask for help. Well, Eric Adams is asking the president for help and he hasn't received a phone call back. And Texas was saying, look, our state is on the border and we're getting all the migrants. The president is telling them not to close the border. The border is a federal a federal thing. The state, in fact, right now, the state is going above the mandates of the federal government to shut down the border because there's so many people, you know, coming through. So when you have other states claiming this is what you should have done, this is what you should have done, but they don't have the resources or the ability or the availability to take care of people the way that other states are, well then if that's what you're gonna say, then you can handle it.
But no, but it's still just that is petty. It just creates another problem. I think I don't think you should call. No, I don't think that either. I think there's a way to do things right. Just
Like
because
what?
someone pisses you off doesn't mean you just bust a whole bunch of people there and say, "Hey, it's your problem. You deal with it now, if you can." You know what I mean?
Why not?
Because I think they're people.
Sure.
And you don't just do that to people.
Is a bus bad?
No, it's not the bus, but it's going there without a plan. They're migrants, yes, but you're still governing, you know, that state, right? And then we should be. I just feel like we should be working together. You know, we don't just pass our problem on to somebody else. We need to work with each other to try to fix a problem. It's kind of like with her. I don't know. I can barely keep my own life together. You know, I can do it with 100 people. But I think about when Katrina happened in 2015, and a lot of the New Orleans kids that came to our school, they were like, our school welcomed them with open arms, but a lot of different like Mississippi schools and stuff accept a lot of those students, and they just kind of like all the neighboring states just kind of helped out where we could. Not George Bush, but we just helped out where we could when it came to relocating people, when it came to making spaces for people. And I think there's a way for grown-ups, especially if they're leading their different states, no matter red, blue, purple, whatever, to come have conversations, say, hey, you know what, this is overwhelming for Texas. This is not working. You know what I mean? So ask for help. Even if it doesn't come from Joe Biden or from the federal government, I think there has to be a way where states can also talk and maybe come up with a plan. I just think there are plans. I think there's things that could be done. There's help that could happen. There's a lot of different places, like especially in the middle of the country, where the population is very, very low. And I'm not saying just move people around, because people probably cross with family and stuff like that. But there has to be ways for grown-ups to talk to each other and come up with plans.
What do you think is happening?
From the way you made it sound, I felt like you were saying like, oh, Eric Adams said something and pissed the governor of Texas off, so the governor was like, okay, now you take them. That's what it sounded like, instead of like, even, you know, Eric Adams probably shouldn't have run his mouth anyway, but instead of like, oh, hey, Eric, whatever, I need your help. We can't house these people. It was more so like, oh, you think you could do better? He'll prove it. Oh my God. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, let me
Then
say
there's
this.
strange New York people. It's like, I don't know.
Oh no, the poor New York people.
No, not like that. It's like, I'm not saying that these people, I'm not looking at the people as a problem. I'm looking at how things happen in our day-to-day life. And if your job is to kind of like put out fires, if you're, you're the governor of a border state, so you're gonna have unique obstacles that some other states are not gonna have, right? So I don't think people should be chiming in, especially if they don't experience the same thing. But we have to be solution based and not just pass problem to problem. So am I missing the point?
I mean, there's obviously one single solution, and I think when you have sanctuary states, because unfortunately,
We're a sanctuary state, I think.
we're a sanctuary city.
City.
I think unfortunately and fortunately, every state has their rules and this, that, and the third, right? So when you're not tasked with a specific problem, but your doors are wide open to receive them, well, then you should receive them. I think when we talk about, oh, the humanity of people, they put them on a bus, they go to New York, and New York takes them in, puts them in a shelter, obviously they're putting them in a school, they're displacing people to help the migrants that are coming in. So whether it happened kindly or it happened out of revenge, it doesn't really matter because the outcome is still the same.
But there's a right way to do things. There's ways.
No.
I think there's ways to prepare.
The right way is if everyone has the same rules and everyone agrees.
Well,
but if
that don't
New
happen.
York is a sanctuary state and Texas is not, and then the people of Texas are feeling the brunt of the outcome of this problem, and New York is touting that they can handle it, well then let New York handle it. Your laws are more lax in that direction.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that, but I do think there's something that comes from
Being buddies
decorum.
and friends
not,
and
not friends, but just working together. Because they, in the sense of it all, they are colleagues. You know what I mean?
yeah, but what if the rules are not the same?
The rules are not the same, but
So why should they work together?
Because it's the right thing to do.
Who says?
I do. From my point of view, I think it's the right thing to do. I think to have a good working relationship with someone it makes it easier for the job, for the space.
Maybe.
And make it easier for everybody. Like to have a plan. I just think that's.
I mean, there's a single plan that needs to be applied, and obviously it's not for whatever reason, political. But it's not being applied, and it's on the back of the federal government. So when we talk about these things and we say like, oh, there needs to be a plan and things like that, there actually doesn't really need to be a plan because there's already a plan in place and people are just breaking the rules to that plan. Does that make sense?
Kinda. Who's breaking the rules to what plan?
Well, if we have
There's a process in place and people are not following the right process. Which
correct, exactly.
So, but does that fall on
The federal government.
Yeah, absolutely. But when it comes to like, because have the states' right thing, does it fall on the individual who is breaking the rules? So if Texas, I don't know really anything about politics, but if they have their rules to deal with the people that are breaking the rules, shouldn't they deal with it that way? Does that make sense? And is that way like, oh, if you come in the country, not the legal way, then we will bus you to a sanctuary state so you'll be safe, or is it you have to leave the country? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know the rules when it comes to, hey, this person, our state is governed this way. They broke the state's rules, so this is what happens when this happens. I don't think busting them somewhere was a part of unless it's a new thing, could be.
It's a response.
It's a petty response.
Yeah, but you know what's
It's
really
funny,
know
but-
what's really petty, and it's not funny. I think what's really petty is saying we have this procedure that we have to go through, but for my own political gain, you have to take care of these people, balance the budget enough to take taxpayer money and pay for an ever-growing population where you cannot have infrastructure to help these people out in the real way. So yeah, people may not be a fan of them going to New York and sleeping in shelters or sleeping in schools, but what about the people who go to Texas and Texas is like breaking at the brim? They don't have enough to help these people, so now people are living on the street. It's like an ever evolving problem, and there's no simple solution because every state has their different ideas and ideals about how to solve this problem, and there's one single solution. There's one.
Yeah, but you're not gonna say that.
I don't have to say it because the country already said it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess my problem wasn't them sleeping in shelters, or I just felt like, or I thought there would be a process when it happened.
Like returning them? Like
or something
piece
like
of clothing from Ross?
No. No. But if you overstay your visa, there's consequences. We all know that.
But they don't have visas.
I know. So what happens? What happens when that happens? What's like the protocol if that happens? You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the.
We should call Obama.
No, I ain't gonna call Obama. It don't affect me.
They call him deportation in chief.
I mean, we have to. Because I don't necessarily think that's completely wrong. In a way, I think there's a right way and a wrong way to do things.
Oh,
right? I think there's laws in place for a reason, and I think just because there's a law doesn't mean we have to be evil about it, or we have to. You know what I mean? There's things that we can do to have a solution to a problem. You know what I mean? Like, I know you say there's one solution, but I mean, or to kind of like remedy the situation as a foot. And maybe that was his way of remedying by sending them to New York and saying, hey, Sanctuary City, if they're up there, they can stay in the United States of America. They have no risk of being deported. Then, I don't know. I don't know. I have no law degree. I have no political science degree. I don't know. I'm just hearing about this now. So, I'm just, whatever. Not whatever to the people. Like, love people.
How could you say that to the migrants? You can't gay your way out of this. You can't gay your way out of this. Okay? We don't feel bad for you. It's not 2020 anymore.
Oh, it came.
First time.
Mm-hmm. Could you imagine?
All right, I got one last thing for you. Let's see.
One more time.
Dang. Okay, let's see. Gen Z is aging poorly. Favorite black movies of the 2020s. Waves of layoffs. Jeff Bezos and his sexy girl walking around in a sexy
I really
outfit.
need to keep up with pop culture because I have no idea what's going on in the world.
In the movies.
I like living in my little delusion.
Did you see Felicia Rashad in The Beekeeper? Just in the trailer.
Did I? I saw the trailer. That's Jason Stamos? No, Jason
Stamos.
No, what is that his name? What's his
Anita
name?
Max Win.
The one with the bald head. Is it Jason?
Statham.
Satan.
How are you a Brit?
Sacrum? Butthole?
Butthole?
Did you say sacrum? What'd you say?
Statham.
Him.
Inverted buttholes. So,
I thought the movie was about Beyonce, so I was very, very disappointed. I was just playing.
all right, let's end it off good. Best movies you've seen in the 2020s. The best black movies you've seen in the 2020s.
I really like The Blackening. I thought it was really entertaining.
I heard it was really good.
Yeah, I really, really like that movie. And I think they set it up so a sequel could happen.
Nothing else?
Renaissance. Renaissance. Brilliant. Great. 3 hours. Like a Kojic Sunday. But it's good and necessary. You need to be there.
You need to be careful before...
Like a Kojic Sunday. That's a good black joke. Come on. Black people know we have church too long. 11 o'clock service. It's 3 hours.
Haitian church is way longer than 3.
See? Can't go. You had 2-minute welcomes. Moon about to welcome me 3 times.
A lot of singing.
The choir song. How many songs?
A lot of singing. A lot of singing. I went to
The pastor want to sing a solo and the first lady.
a Haitian church. This is interesting. So I went to a Haitian church last weekend in New York.
Right.
And no, I'm sorry. I went to a Haitian church a couple months ago in New York, but I went to a Caribbean church last week in New York, and the pastor said something that I thought was really odd. So he was like, we're going to bring people into the church to help your pastor out because I'm getting old and I'm getting a little bit tired and I need assistance because I can't do it all myself. And everybody was like, oh yeah, totally understandable.
Why would you just step down?
No, it's just too much work. Like, that's why some churches have assistant pastors.
Oh, he has no one.
No, he has no one. So he was like,
okay.
Yeah, okay. So he's like, we're going to bring a couple people into the church just to help me, lead better. And so everybody's like, oh, okay, yeah, like, that's totally awesome. He goes, and that person is going to work. That person is going to work hard. And everyone's like, amen, hallelujah. He's going to work really hard. And the pastor goes, and then I'm going to pull a whip out, and I'm just going to keep on whipping him until he works hard so that way the pastor could put his feet up. I'm going to whip him, and I'm going to whip him. And then everyone is like,
hallelujah. Whip. Yeah, I think he thought he was doing something with that.
yeah. Okay.
Pastors be trying to be funny, but
Yeah, stick to preaching.
Yeah.
You're so blasphemous.
That what makes it
Little Nas Dev.
No relation.
Okay, so you've seen The Blackening in the 2020s.
I've seen The Blackening, but I haven't seen that many movies. I don't think.
Black ones especially.
This is a narrative. I do not hate myself or my black culture. I love it.
I didn't say that.
You keep implying it.
I'm just saying, which black movies have you liked?
What black movies you've seen?
I saw The Woman King.
Hey, what's the? I saw The Woman King. I love that movie.
That movie
That's the
was
2020s.
fantastic.
It was so good.
Don't just agree with me.
No, I did.
You want your black card.
You gotta remind me of the movies I've seen. You know I party a lot. My mental health is not always there. Plus, when you drink all the time, well, not all the time, it's like once a week, but.
He has a problem.
Keep going. Woman King. What else have I seen?
Dope is outside of that realm, but Dope was a great movie.
2020, does everything come from 2020 and up? When did Dope come out?
Like 2015.
COVID still has my mind, kind of.
You're not allowed to say that anymore.
No, with the year.
No. You're not allowed to say that anymore.
What year is it? 2024?
Take your party favors away from me. Like COVID, we're post-COVID.
COVID, Kovisha, she has
Kovisha.
Kovisha.
This guy's sick.
And
I'm gonna whip him.
Hard daddy.
I
would hate if someone was to do that to me in the bedroom. Not whip me, even just that, because there's people that are into slave play. There's a whole genre of slave play.
Like whips and chains, like a dominatrix.
Not BDSM, because BDSM is not slave play. Slave play is like
massa.
Yeah.
You done that before?
No.
Were you the slave owner? You're sick, yo.
No!
Yo, you're sick,
I've never done it before.
Yo, you're sick, yo.
I've never done that.
Holy crap. Has there ever been a gay slave?
Probably. Gay people been around forever.
Nah.
It ain't nothing new.
Nah. I remember first gay. 82.
You remember the first gay?
Yeah.
RuPaul.
82, yeah.
RuPaul the first gay man ever walked.
I saw RuPaul at Pinkberry one time.
Did you? She's so tall.
Super tall, bald too.
And she wears heels. Could you imagine when she's in drag? She's like 7 feet tall.
Oh, are we saying she?
I say, I call her she.
Oh.
But it just depends on, Ru pronouns are he, him. He's the guy, but.
Imagine being a gay slave, yo. And then it's like, whoosh, and they're like, stop.
I don't think it was quite like that. Then you're looking at it through a different lens.
Yo.
No.
That's crazy, yo. Harder.
Whip me, daddy.
Were you looking at my wife? I was looking at you. I love your thin white monkey-like lips.
The thin monkey like lips. You stupid.
Holy. Okay, so you can't think of any more black movies.
You can't either. You just said The Woman King.
Duh, I gave you a lot.
So no, you didn't.
What Men Want? What
that?
Men Want?
The remake of the Jack Nicholson movie.
Definitely
Jack
Mel
Nicholson?
Gibson.
Okay, definitely. I don't know. I ain't seen either one of them.
What Men Want?
I don't know what men want.
There was that movie. There was that movie Black and White, Black and Blue with Tyrese.
Fast and the Furious, does that count? They family.
He's mixed.
Soul.
He did not watch
the
no
Jamie
Fast
Foxx?
and Furious.
No.
Soul was pretty
Soul
good.
good.
Movie.
We watched together. Yeah, it was good.
But that's not a black movie.
Yes, it is. Jamie Foxx is the lead. And that's
I know, but it's
Disney.
it's like a white people movie that has black people in it.
I don't know any other. I'm trying to think hard for real. What else have I seen? What have Viola Davis been in besides The Woman King? Oh, I didn't see the Air Jordan movie. That came out.
Oh, I saw that.
I didn't see that. Yeah, I don't know. The Woman King was really, really good though.
Fire, yo, fire. We also saw Iron Claw, white movie, but that's fine.
Oh, that was just that stayed with me for like a day or two.
Really? I
Yeah.
went right to sleep afterwards.
I didn't say it kept me up. I just said stay with me. I can't do nothing to help them.
Yeah.
They seem like they're doing fine.
Yeah.
I was sad that they omitted the youngest brother though, because I don't know.
I think if they kept him, half the theater would have also died.
It did start to seem unrealistic. So for it to be real and more tragedy on it, I think that's what's the part where I was like, oh, that sucks. But also because of that, I was like, oh, he wasn't a part of it. All the brothers weren't a part of that story. Even though they say I read somewhere where they tried to put Nick and Mike, I think, kind of make their characters similar to the little brother. And the little brother, I guess, was like 5'4" or something like that, 5'5", super duper short, but still wrestled. And yeah, oh yeah, even just thinking about it, oh, that was really.
Well, what would you rate Iron Claw? And I'm gonna give my review shortly afterwards. But what would you rate Iron Claw?
What's the scale?
Okay, if you could rate Iron Claw 1 the worst, 10 the best, what would you give it?
8, 7, 8, yeah, 8.
7, 8.
I enjoyed it. I think it had a good progression. It did make us love them, in the beginning. Like I love stories about brothers and friends, and I really did feel connected to them. I felt it was rushed in certain parts, but it was still a long movie. But yeah, I felt that the love they had for each other was genuine. I thought the actors did a good job. I got past Zac Efron's face. I did. Because at first I was like, I can't see it because all I was thinking about is how bad he looks. But I did get past that. You know what I mean? So
That's crazy.
But I almost wanted more. I could have taken another like 30
Deaths.
30 to 40 minutes of just kind of like character interaction. I think because once they start kind of dying off, I think it started to happen a little
Faster,
fast.
yeah.
And I didn't really care for that as much. But I don't know. It didn't happen that fast. I mean, it happened kind of like around the same kind of years, but and I like that they closed it up and we got to kind of see where they were now.
I give it a 6.5. I think Zac Efron is one of the greatest face actors of this generation after the movie Charlie St. Cloud. Okay, Charlie St. Cloud really cemented his legacy into this whole acting sphere. But in this movie, Iron Claw, what?
High School Musical was his first movie.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Charlie St. Cloud, one of the best movies ever made in history.
Cute.
One of the best
Go ahead.
black
Sorry.
movies of all time.
Cute.
Okay.
I partied with him once, Zac Efron.
Really? Oh yeah, I remember you telling me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Not like that.
Nah, for sure.
Keep going.
I know he's white.
Bitch.
You probably was busting up the scene. A famous one.
Girl, give your review. Give your review.
All right, so I don't understand why Zac Efron was the only steroided one up. He was darker than everybody. He was buffer than everybody. In real life, Carrie Von Erich was way bigger. And, Gene Wilder, the face actor, was in that movie. And he did fine, but I don't think the casting really made much sense. He was short and little, and his body didn't really match Zac Efron's crazy buff transition. It didn't make any sense to me. Also, the parents acting, awful.
I thought they did okay.
Awful.
Yeah.
The parents acting gave God's Not Dead 3. It was like Christian. No, it's a Christian movie.
Oh.
It's like, the Christian movies, they're shot beautifully, but the acting is always super, super bad. And I thought the parents were very one note and boring. But aside from that, I think that the movie is entertaining for the wrestling part, the BTS of the wrestling world, especially at that time, I thought was very interesting. They gave some awesome little tidbits about the business, and I could see where Chavo Guerrero is coming in, and he's like, "Nah, do it like this, try that, da 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 da." But I really couldn't get over steroided up Efron. I couldn't get over that Ellen DeGeneres jawline he had in the movie because it was just a little odd. He looked like
you couldn't get past this.
No. He looked like Jay Leno. It was just weird, because he's the only one. They should have steroided all of them up, or they at least should have just swapped one of them out and put Hugh Jackman in the role or something. But they were like two normal guys, and then Zac freaking Boulder Efron.
But his body, I think Zac Efron was extreme, but the other two, they had nice bodies.
Was normal. They
had nice bodies, but those guys weren't like super. They were like
the real guys are
big, but they weren't like cut. When I go back and look at pictures of them, I don't know how they cast them because they didn't cast them based off looks.
No,
at all.
No,
which I thought was okay because I didn't know who they were before going into it. But yeah, because. I call him Lip because of Shameless, but I think he is a really tiny guy. Though.
Yeah,
he's like 5'5" or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he did a good job.
His acting was fine, but
it got rushed though. I still think it was kind of rushed towards the end a little bit.
Yeah, it was like, all right, the first brother died, then it took a little bit, and then death, and then another death, and I was like, all right, well. So I do think they could have put the other brother in there.
They should have.
But potentially it would have meant that the movie would have been too long.
And Mike too, the one who went out in the field to die. You know what I'm talking about? Who like walked out. Spoiler alert.
Oh yeah. The other brother.
When I was watching, I felt that was out of place a little bit. I don't know why, but it just even that kind of like whole cycle felt a little fast. I think it all just kind of felt. They felt like there was trauma dumping is not the right word, but it was like tragedy.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is. And then the final scene where Zac Efron is crying. I used to be a brother. I thought it was terrible.
I don't remember that scene.
Yeah, that's why. Because it's trash. He needs to bring back who he was when he did Charlie St. Cloud, and bedazzle us once again.
Girl, you like Charlie St. Cloud, don't you?
Honestly, I don't even remember the movie that well. But
is that the baseball one?
No, I don't know what it was.
Because his little brother died or something like that?
Something like that. It was like a ghost or something. Something was going on in there. Anyways, I just like to use it just to mess with people. But solid movie, but it wasn't that great. I wish that there was more wrestling stuff in there because I do think that it played such a mega role in the film. But I give it a strong 6.5. It's not going to win anything. It might get nominated here and there, but aside from that, on to the next one. I hope Zac Efron's face deflates. He starts looking like a normal lesbian again.
The first brother who died, though, he's hot. He's in that movie. He's in that show At the End of the World or something like that on Netflix.
The Obama show?
No, that's a movie. Oh. That movie was also kind of.
And why did Obama make it? That's the real question.
I don't think he made it. I think he produced it, put some money behind it.
Yeah, but he read that script and he was like,
It's not a bad movie.
Yeah. No. It's bad for the world. It's a good movie, but it's bad for the world.
It doesn't sum up right. It's one of those open-ended movies that people like to do sometimes. They're trying to be artistic, which, it just depends on your taste.
Yo, Obama's bored, yo.
He can't work. I think it's against the rules for
Why, 'cause
presidents to
he's
work
black?
or something like that.
Of course he can work.
No, I mean when I think that I heard the presidents can't even drive themselves anymore.
They let Trump drive.
I don't know. I don't care about those people. I don't know. I love and respect
See what happens
everybody.
when we start
but
talking about Obama? Hey, I don't care about them.
I love Obama. You know that's not what I meant.
All right.
I mean, I don't know him to love him like that, but I'm not a creeper.
All right.
Damn it, I can't get this off. Ugh. Sorry.
All right, we're going to head up on out of here. But before we go, do you think that Gen Z is the worst aging generation?
What
of
year
all
is that?
You got to let me do it. Dang it.
Sorry. I talk like we have a conversation.
Sheesh.
Go ahead.
The clip keeps getting all messed up. Do you think that Gen Z is the worst aging generation of all time? They look like trash.
What year is that?
Under us.
From where to where?
I don't know, like 97 to like 04 or something like that.
So that's 26 to 04.
Something like that.
2000 in? I don't know. I don't really look at them like that.
2000 and you know you'd be going after them little 20-year-olds.
I don't know. I mean,
you got your fake on you?
They are not that young. Oh my gosh, y'all be tripping, bro.
I seen them.
No, I've seen some really good looking Gen Zers. Look fine to me.
I know that. I know that's how you think.
It was good.
I think your only question be like, you over 18? It's like,
No, they have to be over 10 if I meet them in the club. Cause you gotta show your ID to get in.
there you go. Caught yourself on that one.
If they're in the club,
So Gen Z looks good to you?
oh, I can't speak for the whole entire generation, but sure, yeah.
Because you know how back in the day,
Everybody got ugly people.
old people look old, young.
I feel like they kind of look older than us, millennials. I know a lot of Gen Zers that look way older than me.
That's the point.
Even though I'm 26. So I know a lot of them are kind of, well, not a lot of them, there's a lot of people in the world. But
That's crazy.
I've met some people that look older than me and they're much younger than I am.
It's crazy that you're turning 20 from 26 to 40 in like 3
In 3 weeks, I'm turning 26 again. It's not a joke, it's real. It's about real life. Perception is everything. So what if I lie about my age? Who cares?
There was a once potentially gay guy that told me that he only ages in 5s.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
It's too late for me now, though, because I've been aging 26 for 7 years, I think.
Your face tells the story.
This face has been through things.
Oh, yeah, we could
Some
do that.
things have been on this face.
We about to count the rings.
You know what I mean?
Count the penises. This guy's super gay, yo. All right, man. We're out of here. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Hey, if you don't find this episode on streaming platforms and you only see it on YouTube, I know. I'm sorry. We're messing with things at the moment. But I will tell you guys that soon and very soon we may not have old episodes on Spotify, on Apple, on DSPs for a good minute. I'm sorry about that, but for the most part, you might have to watch the videos, okay? And we're figuring out a way to get back on the streaming platforms because we have some internal things going on, okay? Hey, everybody. Anita Max Win. Hit it.
I don't know what that means.
Anita Max Win.
Anita McTwins. Feel like I'm being
That's
insensitive
yeah, that's-
to culture.
Well,
what am
really-
I saying?
Anita
Anita
Max
Max.
Win.
Anita Max Win.
That's it.
What does that mean? What
I
does
mean,
it say?
it's Drake's alter ego.
Girl, let's turn the camera off. Cut camera. Cut camera. Bye.
Bye.
So long, farewell to you.